So are you interested in not only proxying your own Magic the Gathering cards, but uploading your own custom artwork or going as far as creating your own cards? Well, today we're going to go over just that. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for dropping by and your ongoing support. My name is Patrick, host of the EDH Brutality YouTube page, which helps with Magic the Gathering content and analysis every Wednesday and Sunday. You're watching the follow-up video on how to make cheap Magic the Gathering proxies, in which I did several weeks ago, utilizing sites such as MakePlayingCards and MPC Autofill. Of course, if you want to go back and take a look at that, link will be down in the description below, but today we are going to be expanding on that idea and how to use your own custom artwork for Magic the Gathering cards, or perhaps create them from scratch. And although I can make this tutorial much easier with certain programs such as Adobe Photoshop, we'll be trying to stay away from any paid programs for the sake of the general public. Of course, as a Photoshop user myself, this too is a bit of a learning curve for me, especially when it gets into the bleed section before the printing process. So if I stumble at any point in this video, just bear with me, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. Before we jump right into the tutorial, a quick and special thanks to patrons like you for making videos like this possible. With that out of the way, let's start making some cards. Alrighty folks, so here we are on Google. You're simply going to type in Magic the Gathering set editor and click on this site that says downloads over here. And you're simply going to choose whichever one you wish. For this video, we're going to do the Magic Set Editor 2.5.8 Advanced, which includes every Magic the Gathering frame ever released. So we're just going to simply click on it, and then it's going to bring us to a GitHub, into which we are going to scroll on down and download the zip file. Once downloaded, it's pretty simple. We are going to go in the extracted zip folder and just go into the Magic Set Editor file application and open her up. From here, we are going to create a new set unless you have an existing project file. So we're gonna go ahead and do so. And from here, it'll bring up a window in which we can select the game, which in this case is Magic the Gathering. And then we have every single type of frame ever in existence. For this example, we are going to do the old style, which is anything before 8th edition. And there we go. You can see our card is now uploaded, at least the frame is, with a full, complete blank canvas. And this is where the fun begins, in which we can really get into the meat and potatoes here. Let's say I want to change the frame. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to be given several options. I can go multicolor. I can make it a land. I can make it an artifact, green, red, black, blue, or white. For this instance, we are going to go strictly black, and we're going to have some fun with this card here. And this is where the program really shines, because if it's on a Magic card, well, it's in the program. If we bring our window over so we can see a little better, right here, this little drop down, we can choose stuff like legendary. We're going to make this into a creature for today's video, and we're even going to make this into a subtype. We're going to make it, let's see, a human. Let's make it a mythic rare, and right here we can add some text. For the sake of this video, we're going to give this thing the keyword provoke, and there you have it. It's already given parentheses on what the mechanic provoke does. If I want to keep typing and make this creature even better, I may do so. And then of course we have a spot down here for flavor text. We're going to fill that in just one moment. For the artist section, we are just going to simply put the artist is life itself. And then of course for power and toughness, what am I feeling for the size of this creature? Well, let's make it a 3 power, and let's make it a 1 toughness creature. And for mana cost here, 1 generic, and let's do 2 black mana. As far as a creature name, let's call this thing Harry Dresden. If you know, you know. And for flavor text, we're gonna say open the fucking door now, or I will end you. By Jason Thomas Nichols. Now, of course, you don't need these actual asterisks here. You can straight up type it out. And there you have it. You have your Magic the Gathering card. For your custom art, you're simply going to double click to load an image of your choice, and we're going to put the image we have saved on our computer, which will pop up and give us a little section which we are able to then crop it, which we shall do so. Select OK, and there you have it. You have Harry Dresden, the Magic the Gathering card with Provoke, nice flavor text, and good flavor. Now, of course, you can do this with any card that you want to create yourself, or even let's say it's a real Magic the Gathering card, you can simply recreate the card and just upload your own image here. Of course, if you're a little bit lazy and you don't want to retype everything out, or it just doesn't look right and you just want custom artwork for an already existing card, an alternative is always just going into good old Photoshop and simply taking out a picture yourself in an already existing card, and then of course uploading your own custom artwork to that and just dragging the layer behind and adding in any effects you wish. Now, of course, not everyone has Photoshop, and if you're making proxies, this is one and surefire way to get custom artwork for already existing cards. But if you want to create your own set and have its own artwork, everything fully custom, that's where Magic Set Editor comes in handy. Of course, you can recreate your already existing cards here. It's going to take a little bit extra work than simply going into Photoshop, getting rid of the image box, and then just dragging in the picture you wish. Whether it's Photoshop or Magic Set Editor, it's pretty straightforward from here. You're simply going to export the card image itself and save it wherever you wish on your computer in whichever application you are using to create said proxy. Once again, whether you're just changing the artwork or creating something completely from scratch. Now, we're not done just yet. Whether it is Photoshop or Magic Set Editor, we're going to need to add a bleed to our cards. For today's example, just in case you do not have Photoshop, we're going to be using Microsoft Paint. So I simply added one of the proxy cards that I have created in my programs, and I'm going to be adding a bleed edge to this. This is pretty much going to ensure that when we do upload this to MakePlayingCards.com, it is not going to crop out any of the artwork. So what we're going to do is, once you drag your file into Microsoft Paint, you're going to hit File, and you're going to go over to Image Properties. You're going to make sure we select inches as the units here. And we're going to want to add 0.125 to both the width and the height for the bleed. So we're going to add that, and that's going to equal 2.715. And luckily, this is going to be a little bit easier to add for the height here. It's going to be 3.735, and we're going to select OK. As you can see, it did add extra canvas. And we're going to go over it up to the top left where it says selection, and we're going to hit select all, and we're going to want to try to center this the best we can. Like I said, this is much easier in Photoshop, but I'm showing you Microsoft Paint just because that is what most people have accessible to them. From here, we're going to want to go into our tools for the color picker, and we're going to want to click on the border, making sure they match. And now that we have that selected, we are simply going to just color in the border of this card. If of course you don't want to get in trouble by wizards, you can take this pencil tool and just fill in the copyright info. I'm posting this to YouTube, so I'm going to cover my ass. So once I have my little image, I'm going to save it, just as I did whether it was in Photoshop or Magic Set Editor, and I'm going to export it out of the program. Now, once we're on Make Playing Cards, we're going to go up here to the top where it says Playing Cards and start your design. We're going to select Custom Blank Cards, and we're going to scroll down to the proper size, which is Custom Game Cards 63 by 88 millimeters. That is the size of a Magic the Gathering card. We're going to select that. And of course, we have plenty of options. How many cards you want to proxy? I'm going to do 108. I like standard smooth because at the end of the day, I'm still sleeving up these cards, so the thickness doesn't really matter too much. As far as packaging goes, it will still be in a box even if it is shrink wrapped, so you can leave it at that if you want some savings for shipping. And we're simply going to click on Start Your Design. From here, for image and text, we're going to select different images because we want, obviously, different images. And it's pretty straightforward. You have your slots for all your cards here, where you can upload images, and of course we're going to do the new image with the bleed as well as one without, just so you can see what happens. And there you have it. You have the uploads here. Unfortunately, if you don't have the proper bleed, it's going to say low resolution, and as you can see, this dotted red line is the safe area, so anything out this could be cropped off, meaning we might not see the name, the mana symbols, the toughness, you name it. That is not good. But luckily for us, we did have one where I showed you how to do the bleed, and there you have it. Unfortunately, this one still is low resolution, but if we click on edit, you can see everything, all the information that we must have is completely safe. That doesn't mean that this is going to be chopped off. There's just a chance that it could. Now, on further inspection, I didn't do the best job at making sure this thing was centered properly. I'm not too familiar with Microsoft Paint, but like I said, if you're good and you already have something like Adobe Photoshop, this should be a walk in the park, and it's quite easy to make a template yourself. Of course, whenever exporting your files, even though I did everything quote unquote correctly, you can see where it still says low resolution. Just make sure whenever you export an image that the DPI is a high enough value so you don't risk any blurry images. And of course, if you don't have a program to do that, one option is always to bring it through an AI upscaler. But let's say we are happy with these two images. I'm simply going to click next step. Once we get to the card back option, we all want this to be the same image, so I'm going to do just that, upload images, and I'm going to select my Magic the Gathering card back, which for the sake of this video, we have a card back selected here, and there you go. Proxy the Gathering, because I'm not paying for more than one. There you go, you have the preview of every single card back as well as all your custom artworks that you have uploaded. Of course, I didn't go ahead and create 100+ custom artworks because I didn't feel like doing so, but that's all you have to do. Once you finish this, you're going to scroll all the way down and hit add to cart. Once again, packaging will say shrink wrapped, need a box. Don't worry about this, it will come in a box. You go ahead and proceed with checkout. You're going to notice the shipping cost is quite high, but when you really think about it, so isn't shipping when you order singles off TCGPlayer. Now you can also go ahead and print at things like your local library and cut out each individual card, but there comes a point where it's just not worth your time, especially if you're printing a lot of proxies. Not to mention, if you yourself don't have a library in which you are allowed to do so, well then a price of a printer is going to far outweigh the price of shipping Magic the Gathering cards. Yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope I was able to be somewhat of a help to you all. Once again, just make sure you have a proper 1/8 inch bleed around the border of your card for all sides before uploading to MakePlayingCards.com. And upon doing so, I can't stress this enough, always double check your work before placing any order. But yeah, that's it for me, folks. So if you want to stay tuned for future videos here on the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell down in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. So like I said, my name is Patrick, host of EDH Brutality. I think much hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys. I really wish everyone had Photoshop. It'd be so much easier just to give the tutorial there on bleeds. You know what? Beggars can't be choosers. Oh gosh, I hope this tutorial does well. We'll see. We shall see, guys. Thanks. Peace.